We need to get the whole house painted at some point, so
Sure.
but I don't know that we've figured out colors or anything.
Okay.
So what's, I mean, there's some areas that are a real mess, right?
It's standard 3-inch tongue and groove, and we can do a repair there.
Okay.
Let me make sure that I get the correct width, and see, I set it right on my 3, and that's all right. That's right on my 6, so that's right at 3 inches. And do you have any other spots?
Let's just look around.
We found one up front, and I'd like to get some caulk in there so it doesn't become a spot, and actually he's starting to get a little soft on the top side. I don't want to poke him too much. But there's a difference between an ugly board that really needs paint and a rotted board.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, if you look at that guy from the edge, you're going to see a bit of an angle because he's not supported correctly on the left side.
Right.
Now, whether that means you're going to say, Lee, I want him supported correctly, so we'll run a band board down there that will help. And we could easily do that, is come into the side of him and underneath. And I don't know if he's bearing on that or not. I wouldn't think so because I can move him. But if that little bit of an angle bugs you, we can help that without doing major surgery. Let me get a length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 21. And that's about, let's start 3 feet in so we kind of count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, roughly another 21. And I need this notch. So we'll start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 15. We'll start at 1, 2, 3, 4 at 12. Going that way. And okay. I got your general measurements. So you're thinking about maybe kind of running a sander over that. I'd like to maybe start with a pressure clean, whether we do, you know, the whole thing or just the porch. And I'd like to use light to medium pressure so we don't damage anything. It's easy to get overzealous with pressure washers. And the thing I'd like to do is, if it's going to peel like this guy, and we want it off. Right. And it's a good thing I see white behind that guy, because that increases the probability that there might have been primer used.
Oh, okay.
And what that's going to do is dramatically increase the life of the paint. But some of this is failing, like that guy, and you can say it's not blue on both sides. So they did a good job with that. And if it can peel, let's make it peel. If it can't, let's leave it alone, because it's sticking well. We'll apply an appropriate flooring porch paint, color of your choosing.
Okay.
And we like the Sherwin-Williams product. They tend to stand the test of time. They do have some lifetime warranty products, although I'm not really sure I buy it quite yet. I'm testing them on my house. We're about 7 years in. They look good.
Okay.
So I can say that.
So you're inclined to sand it away and paint it over and do repairs rather than replace the whole flooring.
I wouldn't. It's too expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
It's drastically expensive. Yeah. But
what
if
we hadn't? So one problem is that we haven't really. We don't know if we're going to modify the colors of the house. So I'm not sure what we'll know to choose for. Is there a way to keep it for? Well,
I grew up in Charleston. Porch floors are gray. Every porch floor in Charleston, I think, is just that standard gray, which is not applicable here with your situation being not gray. But I will gladly paint it really any color you choose, and we will wait until you find your color set. If that is a month or a year or whatever it is, we will do that. But the thing, I want to give you a job that stands the test of time. And even this area that's a really pristine board, to be of the age it is, I want that rough. And I don't mean 80 grit sanded aggressive rough, but like 120, so that what we put on there is going to stick well. So that you get another 20 years on your paint, if possible.
So, but it all kind of needs to, like, we need to choose a color before you get going, or is it, can you do repairs and...
I'd like to have the color because that way we can, I'd rather paint a clean porch.
Yeah.
And if there was something that was 9/11 important to do, that if we don't do this immediately, then we see the potential of structural failure where someone could get hurt, we'll immediately jump in and get it primed and get something on it. But I don't see that.
Right.
I mean, they're minor repairs.
Right.
There's a little caulk point. Bobby found a spot in the front. You know about this. In all honesty, that'll go a year. It shouldn't, but it can.
Okay. Well, do you have a reference for a house painter?
We can do it.
You can paint this?
Yeah, Craftsman has a painting.
Is that right?
Painting team, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I guess we need to get an estimate on that too. Is
Sure.
that you, or is that a different team that comes out?
Well, I've got a couple gentlemen that work with us, and I'd like to two heads kind of thing, and we'll look and we see lots of different things. And a lot of the questions we're going to ask is that you've got, I mean, this isn't a house paint; it's artistry, and so much of this. And
you're gonna go back with one color pickets.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard for me to paint this house for so many reasons. I mean, the siding, yes, the trim, the doors, but to come back in so many of these places, in my mind, if you were asking me, I would say that it doesn't need painting from any perspective that I can see, because I don't see an oxidized layer. Meaning there's no white here. I've got brilliant color everywhere I look. And I don't see chipping, flaking, there's no rotted wood. And but I'm talking about spindles and rails and columns and top side. Now the floor's a different story.
Right. But that, I mean,
I would tell you I have,
there's...
yeah, we can make a case for other things.
This is a mess.
And there is some chipping. On the other side, I saw some paint flake and separation such that it looked like it may not have been primed on some things. That's a rookie repair, because when we repair things, those bottom pieces of trim board, they fail a lot. We do a bunch of them, and the way we do it is that the first thing we would have shimmed behind that so that you don't have a ledge.
Right.
And then after we do that, we would like to Bondo it so you don't have a seam.
Right.
But you see how that's kind of turning a little white.
Yes.
In the oxidized layer, and maybe a little bit of this too.
Right.
And we can make a case for some things. You got a little bit of flake in here.
Yeah, and all this.
Sure. Right.
So you're not really looking at this and saying the whole house needs paint? You're
Well, we're going to start poking around and looking and seeing that there's some things here that
All in all, one thing you see is the house has been well taken care of.
I would agree.
Because it could be a whole lot worse.
Okay, my advice here is the perimeter band, touch up the corner, because you can't have holes. Let's catch the repair points. Let's clean it with a pressure cleaner on. I mean, once you're spraying, you can spray everything. It'll improve it. And do the floor only. One of the things I would counsel you doing is cutting your shrub rack about 12 inches to 18 inches away, because the wind, it would slap, and over time it wears both the plants as well as that post. And things need air. The more air you can give it, the longer you can get life out of the paint. But we do see some points here. The more you look, the more you're going to see, and some flake and paint. And but I tell you that soffit, fascia, there's some bubbles in the purple. Do you see them on the right side, the left side? I don't know why they've got bubbles, but I would touch those up. I wouldn't paint them. I'm not sure what color is that. Could you help me? with that band. It's above the white and below the purple. But there's some spots there that I would be inclined to sand and get that a coat of paint. I'm assuming you go back with the same colors. And I mean, this.
We're thinking if we were needing to repaint the whole house, we were thinking of switching up the color scheme. But if you're arguing we could get away with touch up, then we.
Do you know when it was painted last? That would help the formulas. But that might be a homework assignment that you can just email to me. Yeah. This is a study.
Right.
And we'll engage in this for a little while so we give you a good answer.
Okay.
And I really do want to give you a good answer. Bobby, let's take a peek and just kind of walk around. This is, you know, obviously it looks like a shellac on this door. And I would say that this is getting to be urgent and important.
To protect that door?
Yeah. I would. That's a beautiful old door. Mm-hmm. They don't make them like that anymore, ever. And I would put a very high priority on that.
Mm-hmm. And you just mean a clear protectant?
Really, anything you want. There's an awful lot of colors you can go with, but you know, this is going to be a labor of love because of the ornamental perimeters. Mm-hmm. And yeah. I want to see top side as much as I can. See, the thing I'm looking at here is the intersection of the siding with the roof. It's an inch or so away, which is adhering to a code provision that requires that to be there. It looks like because there's no water in the house, it's appropriately flashed. There looks like there's some kind of activity